Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming for this press conference today. The subject matter today is on One Malaysia Development Berhad. Yeah, 1MDB. Not to be confused with IMDB. 1MDB. And I'll speak in English because this is a slightly complicated matter in terms of the bond issuance and about economics. So I'll just start from now. Thank you very much. Pakatan Rakyat to investigate suspicious 1MDB bond deals when in power. One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB, is a strategic development company that is wholly owned by the Malaysian government. According to the International Financing Review Asia, IFR Asia, a subsidiary of Reuters, and the most authoritative magazine on capital markets, 1MDB raised $3 billion or equivalent to RM 9.3 billion bond in a private placement that closed on 29th March 2013. The latest bond issuance piles on further questions on 1MDB's opaque and suspicious modus operandi, which has been lacking transparency since its inception in 2009. Pakatan Rakyat pledges to investigate the following issues pertaining to 1MDB's most recent and past bond issuance exercises. The 3 billion private placement bond is the third series of bond issuance exercises by 1MDB, bringing its total value of bonds issued at close to 20 billion. Why was the 3 billion bond issued so close to the dissolution of Parliament on 3rd February 2013? The bonds were issued on the 29th of March. It is a mere 3 working days separating the events. Pakatan Rakyat hopes that this will go down in history as the very last big questionable financial act by caretaker Prime Minister Najib Razak. In other words, we are confident, quietly confident, that we will wrestle Putrajaya, and this may prove to be the last final questionable financial act by the caretaker Prime Minister Najib Razak. And the second question is, why is the latest bond issuance opaque? There are a few key issues that we want to raise regarding this. The first is, the terms of the 3 billion bond remains undisclosed at this juncture. So we need 1MDB to come and tell us what kind of coupon rate did they get for this private placement. Second, the biggest issue that we have is, why was it done through a private placement? Private placement is where these bonds were given to private companies, not done through an official or publicly open space. Yeah? We are alarmed by the fact that all of these 1MDB bond transactions issued so far since 2009 have been done through private placements. Why were they not launched publicly where the pricing of the bonds can be determined by the market efficiently? So what we're going to do is, when we get to Putrajaya in these 2 weeks to go, we will publicly disclose the recipients of these public placements. Who knows the identity of these public placements, the people who received these? It's one, IMDB should have a record of who actually received it. 2, it's Goldman Sachs, the arranger should know who received this private placement. As a matter of principle, we will honor these bonds. But I can assure the people that we will get to the bottom of this, and we will investigate fully without fear or favor on the recipients of these private placements. The other point you want to raise is the arranger Goldman Sachs, the big investment house. They were reported to have been overpaid by 1MDB in the region of $71 million. That is about 220 million in fees, ringgit in fees, 220 million. Now this is a big issue because the issuance of government-backed bonds, 1MDB is a government-owned company, right? And it is backed by the Malaysian government. If the 1MDB fails to pay these bonds, yeah, the Malaysian government will back it fully. When you issue bonds which are backed by government, the local issuers, whether it's Arab Nation Bank or CIMB, whatever the arranger is, they usually charge a very nominal fee because they are doing national duty. Yeah, there's an open secret in the market that people, the bankers, the arrangers of bonds usually charge very nominal fees, and that there is not a lot of work to be done in this aspect. So it's not like a listing of an IPO. Fees are quite limited. So why was this given to a foreign bank? And why was the foreign bank paid such a high fee, such a lucrative fee? A bond listing of this size, bond issuance of this size, should attract something of a 6-figure, I think. Yeah, this is what the insiders have told me. It should only attract a 6-figure fee, and here we're looking at 220 million ringgit. You know, yeah. If you do the maths, that's an 8-figure fee in US dollar, 9-figure fee in Malaysian terms. We want to ask, since we're talking about the 1 MDB issue today, why were the previous bonds issued by 1 MDB were done at such attractive, generous yield rates? Okay, let me just give you the basic figure. There was a 5 billion 30-year privately placed bond issue in May 2009, which carried an effective coupon rate of 6.71%. That is extremely high. If it's a government-backed bond, it cannot be more than 5%. I'll give you a comparison to this figure, 6.71%. Malaysian government securities, yeah, what we call MGS, carries a yield, a 20-year yield of 3.82% only. Because it's a Malaysian government is not about to default because we have high oil reserves. Yeah, we've got constant revenue stream from Petronas. So people usually give the Malaysian government a good rating of 3.82%. Kagamas, which is a type of bond also issued by the government, a bit more to be utilized for other things, is about 4.45%. And Khazanah, the sovereign wealth fund of Malaysia, can issue a bond around 4.25%. Yeah? So this is very important. 1 MDB does 6.71%. That's very high. If you receive this bond, you're going to make a lot of money.